Our subject today is the death penalty, with me and Dan, me on the affirmative side, and Tyler and Antonio on the other side. The resolution is that the death penalty should be abolished in the United States. It's currently legal in 32 states, and it is federally legal to execute somebody after they've gone through trial and it's been determined that it's going to be applied to them. The death penalty is unfair and expensive. The death penalty is a lottery of death, with minorities having a higher chance of being executed. Innocent people can and have been killed. The only solution is to abolish it completely. The death penalty is harmful economically. According to Donald McCartan, an Orange County judge called the hanging judge of OC, who sent nine men to be executed, it's more expensive to kill them than to keep them alive, although most Americans believe the opposite. It is cheaper to incarcerate for life than to execute. The number was about 1,700,000 to execute, not counting some certain appeals. And then it was about 1,200,000 to imprison for life. The money could be used elsewhere on better things. The reason it costs more is because members besides the whole appeals process and the judges and the whole court process, it's also on death row they're segregated. So they have to have their own cells and so forth. It's a massive waste of money and resources, since the system actually only executes a few people that actually go through it. For example, Randy Seidel, the state of Illinois spent $3.5 million trying to execute him, only to give him a life sentence, and then 5.5 years after that he was exonerated. The death penalty is not fair. The existing legal death penalty causes direct harm to innocent people in society. As long as the death penalty remains legal, innocent people have a chance to get executed. Some of the worst cases occurred in Illinois. In 2000, then Governor Ryan placed a moratorium on executions after 13 people had been exonerated from death row for reasons including genetic testing and recanted testimony. Ryan declared the system so fraught with error that it has come close to the ultimate nightmare, the state taking an innocent life. As long as it remains in force, innocent people can die. According to the study published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, determined that at least 4 people on death row are likely innocent. And the professor of University of Minnesota, Gross, has no doubt that some innocent people have been executed. Is that counting up or down?
Should be a countdown. That was 2 minutes. You're now at 2 minutes and 47 seconds into the speech. So
How many minutes are there?
7.
7. Okay.
So you're in 5 seconds you'll have 4 minutes left,
Okay.
and now you have 4 minutes left.
The other thing is, once they are executed, there is no going back. The death penalty is not justice; it's retribution. If somebody is found innocent and they are sentenced to life in prison, they get money back. They get to go free, and obviously the money isn't enough to repay them for that time they spent. But once you're executed, the only thing they can do is just clear your name. There's no coming back from it. You're dead. So, which is why life imprisonment is what would be replacing it. There is no other solution besides removing the death penalty completely. Other solutions, or they're not solutions, but what some people say is that they should speed up the process to save the taxpayer monies, because it's actually about saving money. It's not really about, the main argument from legislators that have banned it, or that states that don't practice it, is saving money. So what they've tried to do was seeing how to speed up the process, but speeding up the process would allow more innocent people to die. It's long and arduous for reasons. There's a human life at stake. The current system is unfair. Generally, those on death row are African American, and if you're poor, if you're in a minority, you have a higher chance of getting executed. It's almost like a lottery, with the 3% chance to get executed, according to the New York Times. Also, according to the New York Times, of more than 35,000 people in prison for murder, only 1,500, less than 3%, have been consigned to death row. Of the 20,000 homicides that may be committed this year, fewer than 150 people will be given the death sentence. So the plan of action is abolishing the death penalty the same way to go and replacing it with life imprisonment. Speeding up the process to save money only increases the chances of innocent people dying, and then vice versa. Lengthening the process is just gonna cost more money, which is another one of the problems. The whole system is flawed as it is not applied to everybody the same way. If it was applied to everybody the same way, according to New York Times, there's over 20,000 criminal homicides committed annually. The death penalty does not even come close to killing that number of people, which means that it's not applied in the same manner to all people. Justice needs to be applied correctly, and it is something that's not possible economically and socially. Executing 20,000 people, and if you divide that by 365, it means 55 people a day would be executed, which would ravage our country. And that is it from my turn. And then